So we are at the start for the Grand Challenge Cup, a sensational race yesterday. With these men you're looking at now, the men from the National Training Centre of Australia, who beat the British National 8. It's a scratch 8, in effect, made up of their 4 that won the world title last year, of Hill, Hargreaves, Turin and Hicks, and 4 men from the Australian 8, and it is going lightning quick, or should I say 3 men from the Australian 8, 1 from the Australian quads. You've got Pennell there in the 6th seat from that quadruple scull. And facing them for the first time out on this regatta, the men from Romania, from Dinamo and Steaua clubs in Romania. It's great to see them at this regatta. So, you know that old record that Redgrave and Vincent set in the Silver Goblets and Nickel Challenge Cup that they thought would never ever be broken? 6:56.
Is it gone, is it?
Reed and Triggs Hodge equalled it, Marion Bond equalled it, 6:54. Sinkovic's game on.
They've beaten Marion Bond's fastest time at Henley.
Well, and Redgrave and Vincent.
And they were 2 seconds down at halfway.
Yeah.
And they rode. I mean, that just shows you how they paced that second half. That's astounding.
Yeah. So we're looking at the Romanian 8 there at the back of Adrian Petra Mutaneo, and then in front of him Alex Cosmin Macavi, the 21-year-old stroke. It's a very vibrant and exciting crew, these Romanians. They know no fear. Their Italian coach Antonio Colomanici really does like to get them to take on front load races, and it's not unknown for them to go over at 43 strokes a minute, Adrian. We saw the Australians go over against the British over 40 yesterday. This is going to be a shootout of the high ratings, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. I mean, in the 70s and early 80s, the Romanians were the same, weren't they? They used to rate really, really high, but then they used to row quite short. Now, with the amount of training these guys do, they can row full length and do these rates. It's astounding.
Yeah, the Romanians really do bring joy and vibrancy to their racing. It's built on the success in their junior and under 23 program. There's only one of the crew here in the 3 seat who's got the Romanian crew who's got a junior medal, Alexander Macinea.
And there's quite a lot of the guys in this 8 are actually still students. Yeah,
well, the thing is, this isn't their top crew, the 8. I mean, talking to Colomanici, he says their top crew for Romania is the pair. Then it's the 4. They've got a bronze, you know, they won at the under-23s a couple of years ago, and they got a bronze in the senior world in Linz. And this is their 3rd boat, so he says, because it's, you know, he's struggling to see how he qualifies crews for the Olympics. Olympic qualification happening next year at the World Championships in Linz. But this is a bit of fun and games for the Australians, and you know, they could write their name into the history book by breaking the records all the way down the course. That was a phenomenal time they set yesterday, 1:42 to the barrier.
It's astounding, isn't it?
I mean, Ben Lewis didn't even think an 8 could go that quickly.
Go!
So the final of the Grand Challenge Cup gets underway. It's the men from the National Training Centre of Australia on the right of your picture, and the youngsters from Romania. Look at that high rating start, over 50 strokes a minute off the start.
Look at the boat just bouncing all over the place, the amount of power that's going down through these guys, and they're moving away from the Australians off the first 10 strokes.
Do you know the Australians won't be? Alex Hill looks across there, the South Australian. He's just one of those guys that can go crazy. He loves that high rate of striking. He stroked the 4 when they won in Linz, and I think he took it over higher than their coach Ian Wright wanted. But he is one mean rate king. But you know, he's being out-trumped by the Romanians.
You said like the Romanians, you said they're going to go out hard, and look at this. They have gone to a 1/3 of a length.
I've got to get my rate watch on this. I haven't taken rates in commentary, but let's just get a rate on the Romanians.
But now you can start to see.
I think they're at 43.5, and I think they'll hold that all the way down, Adrian.
It's almost like they're holding their breath and going for 6 minutes, isn't it?
See, the youngster, 21 years of age in the stroke seat, behind him the experience of Pirigui.
And they're still moving away.
Yeah, they're still moving away. This is a sensational run. I mean, the record's got to go to the barrier, hasn't it? You know, 1:42 in these conditions. The Aussies were up on the British, but these Romanians, they know no fear. I mean, in effect, I think they will get rode through by the Australians. I can't see them maintaining this pace, but I did see them in a heat in the European Championships last year, and they maintained this all the way, and they won the heat. Didn't do so well in the final, but they do have that one-off capacity, and this could be that race, Adrian.
I've got to say, you know, in an 8's race, it's the least amount of time, it's the fastest boat, and quite often this kind of strategy of blasting out pays off in an 8. because it's quite hard to change the boat speed once it's up and running. It takes so much more power because it has so much momentum.
So there we see Alex Hill, the 25-year-old South Australian. Behind him, Jack Hargreaves from Sydney University. There we see Alex Purnell, also from Sydney University, in the 6th seat. The man who's come into this boat from the quadruple scull, Spencer Turry, for Sydney Rowing Club, back in the 4th seat. Tim Masters from Victorian, UTS Victoria. Josh Booth, the man who took a silver in that Olympic 4 in the Rio Games, as did Alex Hill, the strokeman. 2 of that crew in this fantastic Australian boat. Josh Hicks with the yellow cap there in the 2 seat, and Angus Moore up in the bow seat. I love watching him row a bow. He gives 110%, that man, and he's so exciting to watch the Sydney Rowing Club oarsman.
And at the moment, you can't see there's much change, can you? The Romanians really staying on top of this. The Aussies, it's not a crew they normally race in. They're in their 4s and quads and stuff like you said. So will they be drilled enough to keep under this kind of pressure to keep it together?
Do you know, when you've won the World Championships, as that Australian crew has, and you know, you've rowed away from the field, you've got a lot of experience in that boat. You know, they do row the same way. You know, the Romanians are going to be absolutely hanging out there. They will be dying in the last part of this race. But, you know, for me, it's so exciting to watch. This is one of the most exciting races of the regatta. You know, why couldn't the British 8 do this? Jürgen Grobler won't let them rate that high, but they go out, they show no fear, they go over at 42, 43. It's exciting racing, it's fun, it's sexy, it's what the crowds want to see.
And it's amazing because last year at the World Championships, a lot of crews were rating very high, and everybody was sort of quite sceptical, saying, oh, we can't keep doing this, the rates have to come down, this is ridiculous. But it's not, is it? These crews are still, so maybe it's the new modern thing. With all the telemetry people are using, they're figuring out different stroke lengths and cadences to get the maximum boat speed.
They have got 3/4 of a length on the Australians, who beat the British National 8 yesterday. This is a sensational performance from Romania. They've got about 700 metres to hold on to it.
They need to dig in now.
2:52 we're seeing on the time.
Second record by a second.
Yeah, that's the record. It was equalled yesterday by the Australians. The Romanians are moving quicker. It is quicker conditions than yesterday. Will the grand record be under threat? The Romanians won't care about the record, because the Romanians want to win this race.
Look at the faces of those guys. They are having a bit of a peak, digging in really hard. They're just going to have to... Oh, well, this is amazing. It looks like the Australians are starting to come back a little bit.
They are starting to come back, Adrian. You're absolutely right. You called it right. I don't see the Romanians hanging on. This will be a sensational second half from the Australians.
But, well, minute 40 to go.
Minute 40. I mean, you do think in the tailwind conditions, the 8 that goes out first will lead. They will dominate. So let's hear it for those
half a length in the progress board.
Closest to us, Vlad Dragos, Akabai. Demi Adrian in the 2 seat. That's Martina in 3. Konstantin Radu in the 4 seat. Adam Constantine in 5, Bejan Pirigi, Alexandre Cosmin Maccabi, the stroke man who's led that magical race.
Can they respond? There's a canvas now. Can they respond? The Aussies have done a big push to get back on terms.
You know, there's plenty of water for the Aussies. The Aussies are going to win this, Adrian. That's been so fantastic to watch the race. And the Romanians, well, they're shortening up now. What's the rate?
It's level now. Yeah, the Aussies now, they're through.
This is rain wars, isn't it? The Romanians, I think there are 46 strokes a minute I've just got on my rating watch. Is that right? I can't believe what I'm seeing.
I think they've really checked their bodies can't cash.
46. What are the Australians at? Let's take their rating. The Australians at 44. That's 44 v 46. There's still about 300 metres to go to the finish of the final of the Grand Challenge Cup.
Amazing.
The Australians at the top of your picture from the National Training Centre in Canberra. Romanians, they have led this race all the way, and they are fighting to stay with the Australians. But what a sensational final.
The Romanians are keeping it together, but the Australians are going to... Oh, that's incredible. They are going to be chasing that final. Look at the stroke rate now coming through to the finish there. 6 or 7 strokes to go.
Unbelievable race, unbelievable run. Australia will win the Grand Challenge Cup for the 4th time in that nation's history. Brilliant race, what a fantastic contest. That's what rowing's about. Sensationally set up by the young Romanians from Dinamo and Steaua clubs. This was a race.
That's an amazing race. What was that, just over half a length in the end? That, I mean, it just shows you about just not having too much respect for your opposition and just going as hard as you can.
And you know, the Australians have won it 4 times, but next year's the 100th anniversary of the King's Cup, which was the peace regatta after the First World War, and an Australian servicemen's crew won that. And you can see, look at that Angus Paul, the 25-year-old, he's absolutely knackered. Oh God, and there's Tim Masters at 4 seat collapsed down. There's no one saying anything. You know, how hard are those boys had to work? And the Romanians, You know, isn't that the way that rowing should be? You know, no fear.
That's a changed crew from the last World Cup. You now need to think they are contenders now in this event.
They were at 46 in the middle of that race. You know, that was crazy.
That is unbelievable, isn't it?
5:53, we're hearing a new record in the Grand Challenge Cup. That is amazing. Those guys will go down in history. Angus Moore, the 25-year-old from Sydney Rowing Club, nods his head. He's heard that, Adrian.
That's amazing, isn't it? And again, a bit like the Sinkovic's, the winning crew was behind the record at halfway and then went through to win it at the end, breaking the record.
Oh my God, I want to watch that race again and again and again, and we see the Romanians go off. It wasn't probably well, they were off at 50, weren't they? And you can see just them moving into the lead, and Sydney just, you know, they were in a race there.
I think the Romanians have said, we're here now to try and get a medal at the World Championships, haven't they?
Absolutely.